up, boxing world? JF Sports. So, Errol Spence Jr. is calling out Kell Brook. As a matter of fact, there's an article that came out, and Errol Spence said some things. But before that, before we talk about it, Errol Spence, as you guys know, won via TKO knockout last Saturday against Alejandro Barrera. It was a fifth round TKO in Texas, and I think he won some big fights. You know what I'm saying? He's got 19 wins with 16 KOs, no losses, no draws. He's wanting, he's itching. You know, I can see it. You know, he in the beginning it was Floyd Mayweather Jr. that wanted Keith Thurman to fight Spence, and then Keith Thurman said that, you know, you gotta get your beak wet first. You know, I'm not just about to fight you. You ain't fight nobody yet. But when do we say that Errol Spence is, let's say, ready? Now, I don't necessarily agree, even though I think he's a good boxer. He's got a lot of talent. He's a southpaw. He's young. He's hungry. You know, Errol Spence is only 25 years old. But he's got a undefeated record, flawless record, even though a lot of people question him about that fight against Chris Van Hardeen, I believe. You know, which he won the IBF International welterweight title then, before Alejandro Barrera fight. But anyway, I don't think that Errol Spence Jr. should just jump to Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook's been in the game a little longer. You know, if anything, Keith Thurman should fight Kell Brook. You know, but you know, Errol Spence wanting a big fight, I don't think necessarily that he should jump to Kell Brook. I don't think that's gonna happen. Matter of fact, this is what he said. He said, quote unquote, "If I have to go to England for Kell Brook, I will." And I have no doubt that that fight could be made, but I don't think it'll be made. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. You know, if it was, in my own opinion, I think Errol Spence should take some fights like Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just coming up to welterweight. You know, maybe same frame, same somewhat of a resume. Well, not really. I can't even say that because Danny Garcia he's always been fighting at 140, and he recently moved up, and he's talking about fighting I think Guerrero in January or something like that. I could be wrong, but Errol Spence, no doubt, he has called out Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. I mean, these are big names, though. You know, there's other fights out there that you don't have to just jump to these three. You know, there's other fights out there, somewhat of a tune-up fight, a decent champion or a decent welterweight guy, but not necessarily a sensation, if that makes sense. Let me see. I wouldn't mind seeing him, you know, test Algieri, test out, you know, man, I would have loved to see him fight Brandon Rios, but Brandon Rios, man, he looked fat last time. And even Keith Thurman, no, man. Sean Porter, Kell Brook, I mean, he's just going to jump to those guys. Now, I'm not saying that Errol Spence doesn't have any chance. I mean, he's a good boxer, like I said, he's talented, he's young, he's hungry, but there are other fights out there that I can, you know, like somewhat of a tune-up fight prior. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence. I would probably like Errol Spence versus Algieri. Errol Spence versus who else? We got some kind of a solid dude. I can't. Oh, Amir Khan. I mean, you know, Amir Khan is not undefeated. I mean, he's fast, he's tall. You know what I'm saying? Those matches. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not putting down Amir Khan just because I want to match him with Errol Spence. Not what I'm saying, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? Errol Spence wanting also a fight against undefeated fighters. You know, and we can also argue that Keith Thurman could be ducking Errol Spence, you know, or Kell Brook. You know, we haven't heard from Kell Brook yet, but these are undefeated fighters at welterweight that had made some names already to be fighting somebody, Errol Spence, who, in all fairness, hasn't really fought anybody. But, like I said, also, When do we say that Errol Spence is ready? Well, my suggestion is fight somebody a little less solid than Kell Brook and Keith Thurman. Sean Porter, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I see what I mean. Maybe Sean Porter is not undefeated. Before, I've been saying to you guys a long time, I would have loved to see Errol Spence versus Adrian Broner. Versus fucking Adrian Broner. What's that dude that had a lot of tattoos and he's calling out? It was Mayweather's corner. He called him out, Bruce Jenner and stuff like that. I can't remember. But anyways, Caitlyn Jenner. That would be a good fight, I think. If Broner wants another shot, winning the title already, 140, he's a champion there. Because we all know Broner is just a matter of time until he try to move up to welterweight because he's trying to replace Mayweather. He said he calls the shots. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. From now on, he's his own boss. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to go that route that Mayweather did. Now, Broner versus Errol Spence is not such a bad fight. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, that's not such a bad fight. Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman or Kell Brook, that's iffy, man. I don't see that happening. It is what Errol Spence had to say also. I want top 10 welterweights. Well, you're not just going to get that. You're going to have to earn it. Just like what Keith Thurman said, regardless if he's ready or not. And I strongly believe he probably is ready. But there's this thing to where you got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to walk before you can run. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I want top 10 welterweights. He ain't going to get it. My goal is to become a world champion. I get it. If I have to go in England to fight Kell Brook, I'm willing to do that. That's what Errol Spence stated. As you guys know, Spence Jr., he had a stellar amateur career, it says here, having only lost one fight in 137 matches. He's widely regarded as the next big thing in boxing, though he has yet to be tested against the division's elite fighters. He's hoping that changes with his next fight. Next fight, I wish he could fight Dan Garcia or Adrian Broner. You know what I'm saying? One of those two. I can see that. And if he wins that fight, then maybe he'll get that fight against Thurman or Kell Brook. Or, like I said, Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be a good fight. Amir Khan versus Errol Spence. I think it'll be a good fight, but not necessarily Kell Brook and Keith Thurman. I don't think those guys will take it. It's not just, it's just not, I don't think it'll be a lot of money there. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman is, he said he's ready. He's made his name and made his mark. He's calling out Mayweather, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind fighting Pacquiao. But promoters issues and shit like that. Bob Arum fucking, what's his face? Al Heyman. I don't know, man. Al Heyman fighters, top ranked fighters from now on, it seems like it's hard to make. But as far as Errol Spence, wanting to fight, I wouldn't even mind Errol Spence fighting Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Solid guys, but not necessarily on top yet. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily a sensation. A pay-per-view sensation, so to speak. But in consensus, I guess what I'm saying is I would rather see Errol Spence called out Terence Crawford, Danny Garcia, or Adrian Broner before he just try to go up to those guys. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put the article link in the description so you guys can check him out. Let me know what you guys think. Drop me a comment. And as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to JF Sports.